Hello, I'm Mark from Moonstone Publications. Welcome to this overview of some of the stories we've covered over the past week. But first, please hit the subscribe button and share this video with your friends and colleagues. The Constitutional Court has refused to grant an FSP leave to appeal against the High Court's finding that it was negligent when it advised a couple to invest into Sharemax property syndication schemes. The applicants said their constitutional right to have a dispute resolved by the application of law in a fair public hearing had been violated. The applicants had asked the High Court to rule on a preliminary or separated issue, whether the FA's Ombud's investigation into the complaint justified the finding that the applicants were the factual and legal cause of the client's financial loss. The Ombud Council is facilitating the introduction of early warning systems that will help to prevent another property syndication complaint scenario, where the FA's Ombud ended up closing its files on 1,000 such complaints without resolving them. The Ombud Council has supervisory jurisdiction over the country's statutory and voluntary Ombud schemes. The Council is holding discussions with all the Ombud schemes to ensure each scheme implements a consistent reporting system that will track various elements of its complaint statistics. The data will help an Ombud scheme to identify early on cases that should be dealt with by the courts or other dispute resolution forums. Registration for the first of Moonstone Compliance's 2 free webinars on the Employment Equity Act close on Monday, the 21st of August. The webinar will take place on Wednesday. This webinar will focus on how to read the Act, create an employment equity plan, and remove forms of unfair discrimination from the workplace. To find out more, please watch the introductory videos. Some commentators believe significant cuts to the repo rate are imminent, but our investment analyst Ray de Klerk is not one of them. He says the South African Reserve Bank's monetary policy has been highly influenced by the cost of borrowing from abroad. He believes the central bank will continue to target a gap of 3.5 to 4% between its repo rate and the average central bank rates in the US, Britain and the Eurozone. Narrowing the gap will result in the rand plunging by between 12 and 15%, putting upward pressure on inflation through more expensive imports. Stokvels have long been a means for millions of South Africans to save and meet their financial needs, but unscrupulous operators, pretending to be something they are not, are giving this tried and tested community savings model a bad name. Read our article to find out what constitutes a legitimate stokvel, the conditions a stokvel must meet to be exempt from having to be licensed as an FSP or register as a credit provider, and the telltale signs that a pyramid or Ponzi scheme is masquerading as a stokvel. The 10 million rand fine imposed on Bright Advisors, previously known as De Vere Investments, has been slashed in terms of a decision by the Financial Services Tribunal. The tribunal also set aside the withdrawal of Bright's old FSP license. The FSCA had agreed to reduce the fine and set aside the license withdrawal before the tribunal was scheduled to hear the matter. Bright subsequently filed supplementary reasons in which it contested the merits of the findings on which the authority's administrative action was based. These findings related to the promotion of unapproved collective investment schemes via structures known as qualified recognized overseas pension schemes. Global equity general funds have far outperformed unit trusts in the other major unit trust categories over the past decade, according to research by Morningstar Investment Management South Africa. The average global equity general fund delivered a return of 13.3% a year over the past 10 years. It outperformed the next best performing category, South African multi-asset high equity, by almost 6% a year over the same period. The implementation of the Administrative Adjudication of Road Traffic Offences Act, or AARTO, is likely to create a myriad of employment-related issues, says law firm ENS Africa. AARTO will introduce a demerit system in terms of which motorists who break traffic laws will lose points, and once they have lost a certain number of points, will have their driving licenses suspended or cancelled. ENS says employers may have to consider reworking aspects of their disciplinary and incapacity policies and procedures to address the impact of demerits, disqualification, or license cancellation. That's all we have for this week. You can read these stories and many more on our website, moonstone.co.za. Until next time, here's wishing you all the best from the team at Moonstone Information Refinery.